Well, what's up everybody? Today we have a 2017 Camry. Got the 2.4 I believe in it, something like that. Yes, 2.5 I think it says on this. But what we're going to be doing, I'm actually going to be doing two videos on this. One is just going to be like a basic tune-up. We're going to do plugs, coolant flush, oil change, air filter, cabin air filter, and then the next video will be front and rear brakes on this, because he is having some grinding issues out of it, and he has roughly around 115,000 miles I believe on this. So we're going to be doing, like I said, basic tune-up in this video, just because it is going to be the first one, and then the brakes we'll do that one next, and that'll be up in a couple days as well. But let's go ahead and get started on this. I do have all the parts with me already, so we're good on that. And let me grab some tools and all my parts, and then I'll be right back. Alright, first thing we want to do on this is I'm going to take this little plastic piece up. It's got like these little pop clips. If you push them down, they will actually seat down and you can pull them up. Just be careful when you're pulling them up, they don't shoot everywhere. Set them up here, and then we're actually going to take this right here off. This is your resonator box for your air filter, because right below it down in here is your petcock for your drain valve on your radiator. Back in. And about right here down on the very bottom is your petcock for your drain valve. And I'm going to reach down in here, and hopefully it's not too tight. We got that draining because we are doing a coolant flush on here. And we'll go ahead and change out this air filter. You can see it's a little dirty, and I do have all the parts already, like I said earlier. This cover just pops off as well. And on these Toyotas, you have to be very careful with these ignition coil plugs. They will break real easy. Like that one out there is already starting to creak a little bit. So I'm going to use a pick, push it down, and get underneath there. And this engine is fairly warm because we just drove it probably about 35 miles. Here is your spark plugs right here, and they do not look bad at all. This does have Denzos. These are factory ones, but we're going back with NGK iridiums. Here are the spark plugs. Like I said, we went with NGK iridium IXs. There's your part number, LFR 5AIX-11, or you can go off the 4469. I will put a link to an Amazon below for these, so you can get them a little bit cheaper than you would at your parts store. And I did check all these. They are pre-gapped, and it should be at 44 is what they should be at. Just gonna start them, then I'll run them down with my electric impact or ratchet. And I've said this a few times on my channel, NGKs, they do not require, or actually they say in their service data online, not to put any C's on the threads because it actually interferes with their plugs. So that is why I do not put any C's on my NGK plugs. Alright, plugs are back in. We can put the cover back on this right here. Just to get it started. Here's the air filter. We did go with a MicroGuard MGA 49223. Make sure we put it the right way. Should be some tabs on the back over here, but they are broken off of his actually. But looks like, and for it to be a fairly new car, that's pretty odd because this is a 2017. But I will let him know. And we are just about finished with our coolant drain. So what I'm going to do is shut off the petcock valve. Nice and tight. And we have the Zerex right here. It is for the Toyota Lexus Scion. It is the red, and this is a 50-50 pre-diluted mix. I did buy 2 gallons of this just in case. Now I'm going to crank it up real quick. Because it should go down some. Oh yeah, she went right down. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to drive it up on some ramps so I can change the oil and all that stuff. And then once I change the oil, I will let it run a little bit and let it get up to temperature and make sure that the water level is correct. But let me pull it up real quick and then we'll get all that situated. Okay, I don't know how good you can see this. It might be a little dark, but these do have canister oil filters. And it has the O-ring on it. Just take that off. And did get a MicroGuard. Should come with all the O-rings depending on which housing you have. And this right here just snaps down in there. You just push it down, and then here's the O-ring. Make sure you lube this up before you install the housing. And this right here actually has a good bit of oil on the outside because I did take the little plug out of the bottom, but hardly anything came out, even with the little safety plug, but nothing really came out of it. But whenever I took it off, it did come running down onto me. So there's a good bit of oil on the housing itself. I will spray it off with some brake cleaner. And the drain plug is a 14mm on these, which most Toyotas are. And now I'm going to go and install this back into the car. Okay, I'm sitting in the car now, and the way you're going to reset the maintenance light is you're going to put the key in the ignition, and you're going to press and hold the trip button and then turn it to the on position. Let me see if I can get this where y'all can see it too. Alright, so my hand may be in the way. And try to get it. Alright, you ready? I got it pushed down, turn it to the on position, and you can see it says resetting maintenance data, and it's got little hashtag marks or hash marks, and they'll disappear once they're through, and then you should see 0 across the board. And that's how you reset the maintenance light on this. Now we're going to crank it up, and we're going to let it run for a minute, just so we can get it up to temperature, so I can make sure that the water is good, make sure everything is good on that. And I did already crank it up and let it cycle through the oil and checked it. Everything is good. This right here took 5 quarts actually, which I thought it was 4.5, but it actually took 5 with the filter. But she's good now, and all I gotta do is put the rest of the coolant in, you know, to let it cycle through there, make sure it's good. But I'm going to do that in just a second. We did use 020 full synthetic oil on this, but let me let this run for a little bit. I'm going to grab another tool real quick, and we're going to fill up the coolant system, make sure everything's good. So what I have is this no spill funnel. It has these little radiator style caps with little adapters. And what it does is it lets it pressurize the system so you can get the right amount of coolant in here, and it draws it down. And it also has this plug you can put inside, so whenever you get through, you can lift it off, and whatever excess coolant you don't use, you can put it back into your container so you're not wasting any. But it has a bunch of different adapters with it. As you can see, it's got a lot of different adapters for different style caps. It's got the screw on, it's got the standard larger twist on, then it has like the I think it's like a octagon one. Yeah, it is the octagon shaped one you can put on, and they come with different size attachments and like rubber pieces, because that right there what keeps it pressurized. And then you can even extend it up a little higher if there's things in the way. It's got that little 45 elbow and an extension. I did get this one from Napa. The part number is 24680, but you can probably get a little cheaper off of Amazon. I'll find a link to that as well. And they work pretty good if you're not using a vacuum system where you're putting pressure or doing a vacuum on the cooling system and then forcing it in there without having to bleed it. So that's pretty much everything for doing like a little basic tune-up on this. It has spark plugs, air filter, and coolant flush, and an oil change. And I think I said it, but I just wanted to make sure. It is a 0W20 oil on this, and this did take 5 quarts. But if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And until next time, y'all have a great day.